What's up everyone, I'm Tim and this is my channel 40 Times Around. Today we're going to talk about camping chairs that will fit in your saddlebags, so stay tuned. Alright guys, let's jump right into this. So here I have these two camping chairs. I've been talking about making this video for the last few weeks and finally getting around to it. So I have these two camping chairs that I want to compare for you guys today. This is the Helix folding camping chair and this is the less expensive Marchway. Now, this is actually the camping chair I've had for the last few years. I bought this one when this style of camping chair was just starting to come out, so it was a little more expensive when I bought it. Right now I think it's down to about $100 each. I'll link to both of these chairs down below in the description box if you guys want to check them out. But I think this one is a much less expensive version. This one's going for about $30 right now on Amazon. So let's jump into this one and talk about the pros and cons of this camping chair and what I like about it, and then we'll get into this one. All right, so this is the Helix. Let's talk first about the ease of setup on this camping chair. I would have to say this is a pretty easy chair to set up. I know that other one is a similar style and we'll get into that one in a minute like I said, but for sure this one is very, very easy to set up. The fabric slips on really easy. The poles go together easy. They're attached inside by an elastic string. So basically the chair almost puts itself together. Now, if you compare this to what I used to use when I was camping, was basically just a stool, like a fold-up stool, packed to almost the same size as this camping chair. Had no back support to it whatsoever. So, you know, I have a bad back, and when I'm sitting on a bike all day, having a backrest is a huge advantage. So that's why I'm such a big fan of these chairs. Is pack size is incredible, super comfortable. Now, the durability of this chair in particular, I will say these poles, they feel a lot beefier than the other camping chair. And this fabric feels a lot more durable. I'm also a big fan of the color. This particular blue, probably close to one of my favorite colors. The tripod for the camera that I'm actually talking on right now is the same color. Big fan of blue, so I do like this detailing here. Now cost, obviously, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this chair is a little more expensive. So in terms of price, I would say that is probably the biggest downfall of this particular chair. It is a lot more expensive than the other one. Like I said, you are getting more for durability. And honestly, I think that's probably the only advantage that I can see. Let's set up that other one and dive into the pros and cons of that one. All right, so let's jump into the Marchway. This is the less expensive one, like I said. And actually, before I made this video, one more thing I want to compare, but I forgot to actually weigh these before I made this video. So right down here, I'm going to put how much this one weighs, right here, and how much this one weighs, right here. So let's put this one together and see how this one works. Okay, so this is the Marchway. Let's first talk about the lack of ease of setting this chair up. You know, maybe it's still new, it hasn't really been broken in. One thing I noticed right off the bat was that the elastic ropes holding the poles together don't have quite as much tension as they do in this chair, so it doesn't really seem to just pop together. Also, the poles themselves, they feel a little bit thinner than this chair. And the fabric itself doesn't seem to have quite as much flexibility. It feels a lot stiffer sitting in it actually too. But in terms of setting this chair up, not a huge fan of it. Maybe I just need to practice it a few more times. You know, is that worth $70 extra for this chair? Maybe not. Something you got to kind of choose for yourself. I will say this is the easier chair to set up though. In terms of durability, what I think with this chair is, to be honest with you, there's not a lot that can break in these things depending on what you're actually doing in these chairs. But if you're just sitting in these chairs, I really don't think you have much to worry about in terms of breaking one of them. In terms of setting them up and taking them apart over and over again over, you know, a long trip, you might run into some issues with this one, with the elastic rope wearing out, something like that maybe. But you know, honestly, the stiffness of this fabric would cause a little bit of concern for me that it's not going to hold up quite as well as something that has a little more give to it. Something to consider. In terms of comfort, it's a step up from a stool. I am going to say, though, this is definitely the more comfortable of the two chairs. It just kind of feels a little stiff, like I said, but also you can kind of feel where the poles are. Again, is that worth $70 to not feel that? Maybe not. You know, you're on a motorcycle, so comfort is kind of relative when you're on a motorcycle trip. Anything is a step above, you know, sitting on a log if you've been on a motorcycle all day. So I think that pretty much covers my comparison of these two chairs. Now, just to kind of boil things down, I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with this chair. It's only 30 bucks. It's a great starter chair. If you're not going on a bunch of really long trips, I don't see an issue with this chair at all. It's a huge step up from, you know, one of those small three-legged stools that fold up to about this size, not super comfortable. Or, in my opinion, what would be even worse than that is one of the full-size camping chairs. They're huge and just so cumbersome and not ideal for packing on a motorcycle. So either one of these chairs would really be a huge step up from those two options. So nothing wrong with this chair. I would totally buy this one. I would travel with this one. If I'm looking at indefinite travel or I have the extra money to spend, I want a little bit easier setup and maybe just a little bit more comfortability and durability, I would go with this one if you can afford it. But like I said, either chair is absolutely great and a huge step up from sitting on the ground or sitting on a log. So I'll link to these down below, like I said. Check them out if you want. So that's it. I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you guys want to see more of my videos. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.